Alright, hello Lord Bing. We're going to be learning all about HTML tags and the basics of how you make a website. So, to begin with, I have a whole bunch of text over here that I'd like to turn into a website. So, it's a little site about myself. It has a title, there's a picture I'd like to include, there's a couple of paragraphs about myself, and there's a list of things that I love, and a list of things that I hate, and then here's a website that I'd like to link to inside my website. So all that text, if you were to view that in a web browser, it would turn out like this. It would just turn into one big pile of goo, just a big puddle of text. It doesn't recognize any of my white space, the fact that I press enter here a couple times. Doesn't know what this picture is supposed to be. Doesn't seem to have any clue about links. It just doesn't work too well. So, how do we turn all this text into a website? It's all about HTML tags. So tags are going to be commands that are going to give our document structure so that when we view it in a web browser, the web browser has some idea on how to make this website formatted. So let's do it. So tags always look similar. So I'll show you just at the top here what a tag would look like. They always have these angle brackets around them. And then usually there's a word like tag or some name of the tag. And then you surround some text in the open and close tag. So if we had a tag named tag, then it would be in angle brackets. It would surround something, and then to end it would be slash tag. So I'll show you some examples of actual tags now. So for example, we want to make this the title. Titles tend to be big, bold, they show up, they stand out. So there's a bunch of tags called the header tags. So this is H1 as an example. So we start off by putting the H1 tag at the front, and wherever the title ends, we're going to put in a slash H1 and save this. By the way, we have this coloring happening inside of our editor. This is called Sublime Text 2, and the coloring only works if you've saved your file as a .html file. So that's a helpful thing. So there we go, H1 slash H1. So now if we refresh the browser, hey look, the title is bigger than all the other text. Okay, let's keep on going. I'm actually going to leave the picture out for a bit. We'll come back to that after we've seen a couple more standard tags. So paragraph is simply P slash P, and we have another paragraph here. So, oops, P slash P, and now we'll have two paragraphs. So check it out. Tag surrounding this text over here, refreshing the browser. Hey, it broke it into paragraphs. That's great. Now lists I'd like to show you. First of all, our list has a title, so I'm going to use the header tag again, but instead of using H1, I'm going to use a smaller one. H2 is slightly smaller. And if we refresh it, you'll see the difference between an H2 and an H1. So that was our H1, that's our H2, which is a little bit smaller. You can go all the way down to H6, which is kind of absurd. Super, super small. But hey, it's bold. And later on, we're going to learn about CSS. And we can control what all these things mean ourselves. So now we have a title for our list. So to make a list, there's two kinds of lists. There's the ordered list, which has like 1, 2, 3. And then there's an unordered list, which is bullet points. So we'll start with the ordered list. It's OL for the tag, and then slash OL to end it. And then each individual item you don't number. I'm actually not going to number them. We're going to let HTML and the web browser do that for us. So to make each item numbered, inside of the OL tags, you're going to have a list item tag, LI. So I can define each of these items as an item in the list. Just like this. So this highlights an interesting aspect of formatting HTML. Anytime you have tags inside of tags, so for example, this list item tag appears between the open and close tag of the ordered list. So whenever we have that happening, you want to tab or create the space inside so that the ordered list and ordered list open and close tags line up. When it's just one tag here, it's pretty fine just to kind of leave it going horizontal. So nested tags are going to be something we're going to be dealing with fairly often, so get used to this syntax, or this convention, I should say. So saving that, refresh, hey, look, we got ourselves a list, 1, 2, 3. And we also want to do the unordered list, so I'm going to, again, make it H2. Title, just refresh that, yeah, things I hate. Definitely the Uncanny X-Men. Oh my goodness, that game was one of the worst games of all time. So the tag for unordered list is just UL. And same kind of convention here. We're just going to tab in each of our list items because it's a nested tag. There we go. So if I refresh that, hey, look, we have two kinds of lists now. We have the ordered and unordered list. And last but not least, we got links. Oh, and we also have the pictures. So we're going to go back. We'll do picture first. So an important thing to know that to make this work, your picture has to be in the same folder as your index.html file. Let's just check. You can right click inside of Sublime Text and go to Open Containing Folder, and it opens your folder. And yeah, look, family.jpg is there. Oh, it's your family. And so you can be rest assured that this will work. If it's not there, if you saved it somewhere else, no, I mean, there's ways that we'll learn later on about organizing subfolders in here, but for now you just want to make sure it's in the exact same folder as your HTML file. So let's do it. The tag for images is img, but we need to tell the image tag where to find our picture, so we got to say something to do with family.jpg. So here's something to learn about tags. Tags don't just have names, they also have attributes. So attributes are additional information that you include inside of the tag definition. So here we can include, for example, the source attribute. Attributes always look the same way. It's the name of the attribute, and then the equal sign, and then in double quotes, the value of the attribute. So source is the file name, equals family.jpg. Now there's no close tag. You wouldn't do this for an image because you don't have to surround anything to make an image happen. Whereas, for example, a title, you got to surround some text here. So an image tag closes itself with a slash at the end. Let's see what that looks like. Let's refresh it over on our web browser, and hey, look, there I am, and there's my wife, and there's my older son Miles and my younger son Ryan. They're 1 minute apart, and there's their piano and all sorts of fun stuff. Now this picture's a little big. It's sort of taking up all the space. So let's learn another attribute. So for images, you can also specify a width and a height. But to be honest, most people just specify a width or a height because browsers will automatically scale the corresponding measurement that you didn't specify to match it, so everything is in proportion. So for width, I'm just going to say something like 300 px, so that stands for pixels. If I refresh, it'll be a little smaller now, and notice that the height was automatically adjusted so that this image isn't skewed or warped in any way. So there we go. Now, next thing I want to do is links. So a link is simply a tag again This time we are going to surround this text. This is what I want to turn into a link. So when I click on it, it takes me to this website. So the tag is the A tag. And I'm just going to give myself a little more space here. So we have the A tag. A stands for anchor. And that was what links were called back in like the 1990s, I guess, when they were first developing HTML. And everyone was like, yeah, we're going to call them anchors. And that didn't really take off. It became links. So the HTML is still the letter A for anchor. But of course, we need to know where we're going. So the attribute is href. And we do want to go to Star City Games. But that's not good enough. You have to include the http:// to make this actually go to an outside website. So that's what we need to go. This text can be anything in here. You can just type the name. I'm not sure if it's one word or two. That looks better. So yeah, you can put whatever you want inside of here, and that'll turn into a link. So if I save that, refresh, go back down. Oh yeah, at the very bottom here, look, there's a link. If I click it, it takes me to the Star City Games website, and I can go back to my website. So there you go. There's links. So this is the basics of how HTML works. We have tags. There's all sorts of different tags that we're going to learn, and most tags have a open and close tag. And it surrounds something, and it changes how it's viewed in the web browser. It gives our document structure so that the web browser can appropriately style what's going on in there. Some tags don't have closed tags, like the image tag, because they don't have to surround anything. They just become an image. And they also have attributes. So additional information that makes the web browser understand how to display whatever it is that we're displaying. So I hope you found this useful, and let me know if there's anything more I can tell you about. Thanks so much, everybody.